Has DJI come up with an answer to Autel's Live Deck? That's coming up next. Hey guys, David and Michael here from Aerial Influence. Wanted to try something out with Matrice 300 today, but we should preface it with talking about Autel first. So Autel's come out with something called the Live Deck. It's for the Evo 2 series of drones. Basically, it's a way for police and fire departments to be able to live stream within the distance, you know, as long as you're close enough to that drone. So basically it's
kind of like a second remote without the functionality of the remote, but it's giving you the HDMI out, so to a monitor, and it's giving you that live feed.
That live feed. So like say the captain was back at the station, wanted to see what was going on, he could do that without having to be out in the field.
If he's close enough.
As long as he's close enough to that drone. So I think the Autel thing is like 5 miles, they say, technically. We wanted to try the same thing. We think this might be DJI's answer to the Live Deck. 2 separate remotes. So we've got 2 of the smart controllers for the DJI Matrice 300 RTK. What we're gonna do, Michael's gonna get in a car. I'm gonna be flying the drone. So Michael will be driving. He will not be flying at all. But he's gonna drive as far as he can go while still getting the signal. We're gonna see how many miles away we can get from the drone while still having a signal on that second remote. With the idea being that you know, this could work, the second remote could work basically as a Live Deck. You could plug that into any big screen TV with an HDMI, because this has HDMI out on it, as long as you're within range. Now, these remotes supposedly have a range of 9 miles. I don't think that's gonna be legitimate. I think that's
probably open field.
Completely open field, best case, you know, best case scenario in general. But we want to see how far away you can get while still getting a live feed on that second drone, because that really could be a good option for police and fire department.
Yeah, and the handoff feature. I mean, the 2 big reasons. One, it can act as a command center. Right. You know, HDMI to a big monitor, and if you know the other person in the field that actually is controlling, you know, the A remote, the B remote could take over if they needed to. Yeah, so say captain's back at the station, something goes wrong and somebody needs to take control of the drone, even though they are not within line of sight, this is an emergency situation, theoretically they could take control of the drone in that capacity. Although we're not advocating
that at all. I mean, we're talking about it's authority figures doing this too.
It is nice to be able to have that flexibility, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. So we want to see how this works. We're going to try it. Michael's going to jump in the car. I'm going to take the drone straight up in the air, and we're going to see how many miles away we can go while still getting a feed to that second remote.
All right.
All right, here we go.
Let's do it.
All right, I'm still seeing you. The image is definitely breaking up though, it's interesting.
So I'd say, yeah, aircraft is disconnected.
Yours is disconnected right now?
Mine just went black just now.
All right, so here comes Michael. Obviously that was not as far as we had hoped it was gonna get. But I think one of the issues might be the fact that he was in a car, a big metal box. So maybe if he was at a command post that was outdoors somewhere 3 miles away, maybe it would have worked a little bit better. Also, I think it's probably difficult when the car is moving to really get a great signal. But like 2 miles away, that's pretty good. You're getting a live view of a drone from a second remote. So if your command center was like at a, you know, within that 2 miles, even if they were in a car somewhere, it could still potentially work. So I don't know, Michael, what'd you think?
Well, I mean, obviously I had to focus on the road, but I mean, it looked pretty good. It was a decent image. I mean, it did kind of fade in and out a little bit, but to be that spread apart.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
2 miles is a pretty good.
And like you said, if it was, you know, the remote was maybe on top of the roof or something like that, and the cable was coming around, maybe it would give a better signal if they were stationary or something like that.
If they weren't moving in a car. And also think about, you know, like a lot of the police and fire that we work with have like their command centers that they set up, you know, in the back of a truck or, you know, in an actual, you know, drone vehicle that they have. If that was set up at a spot that was not without a ton of interference, they could get, you know, 3-4 miles potentially. So pretty cool.
It also, you know, it hooked back up. Once I turned around and came back through, it reconnected.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, I mean, it was still, you know, obviously searching for the signal. And it was interesting because it said disconnected, then it said weakness, you know, like signal weak.
Yeah.
Then it actually came up with the picture and it was back to normal.
Anyway, interesting technology. It's only going to get better, obviously. Is it the answer to Autel's Live Deck? I'm not sure. You know, what we've heard, that works really, really well.
Yeah.
It's, you know, a couple of our clients, one of our clients specifically has been using it and has been raving about it. Now,
I mean, I think there could be a space for each.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it's kind of right in between the Mavic Dual and the M300, and, you know, this is a way that they could go without having to do like some type of third party or routing it into something.
Exactly, and you know, not to mention the difference with this and what Autel has is this is also a remote control. That is just a box that you can plug in and plug into something else. You can do that with this one too, but you can also use it as a second remote or as an extra remote in case something happens to your first remote.
Right.
Pretty good value, pretty cool technology. We're still searching for the best options for all of our clients. That's why we do these tests. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.